90% of Murder Mystery 2 players make the same mistakes every single round, and I'm about to expose all of them. In this video, I'm going to be going over real MM2 tips and tricks for every role, for survivors, sheriffs, and murderers. Once you know them, your gameplay instantly levels up. So before we get into any of the tips, I'm going to go over some more general rules. So it's just some general tips for you guys. Definitely wear headphones. By wearing headphones, you guys can hear the knife throws, gunshots, footsteps. Coin pickups have their own distinct audio cues, and you can locate someone based on the general direction of where the sound is coming from. It's harder to do this without headphones, but with headphones it's definitely easier to hear exactly where someone's at, and the louder the audio cues are, the closer the player is to you. See, I can tell based on that murder sound that they're kind of close by, relatively close. And then my next tip for you guys is make sure you're using the map to your advantage and knowing each map's layout and knowing the best escape routes. So like for this location, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And like right here, I know an escape route is this pipe up here, and see, she doesn't even know where I went. There you go. There's an example, guys. Knowing each map's layout, knowing where to hide can help you survive longer. If you're even a murderer, knowing where to navigate people, knowing where people are going to hide is going to help you be able to find people quicker. Another cheat for you guys is to wear smaller skins if you have the Robux. This can just help you hide more. People don't really know exactly where you're at if you're so small. One thing to know about that tip though is that your hitbox is still going to be the same. So if my character is really short, throwing a knife right here, like towards my head area, is still going to hit me even though my avatar is down here. The hitboxes just don't really go along with your avatar. Still, they're still going to hit. My next tip for you guys is to join a lower level server if you don't feel that confident. And sometimes pro players can make the game very difficult to play. So right now, I can see on the player list, my biggest threat is this Prestige 10 level 100 player right here. Obviously, I know this girl right here is going to be really good, I can tell that. But I'm the second highest person in the server, so I know that everyone else here isn't really that much of a threat. And I'm the murderer, let's go. My next tip for you guys is to always be looking behind you and not to stay in first person mode. I feel like a lot of people might stay in first person mode, but it's always good to know your surroundings by being in third person. Another tip for you guys is to not to be scared or nervous, and this can be pretty difficult when you're first starting to play the game, but eventually you'll be able to calm down and focus, and being locked in just helps you aim better in general. Another tip is to try to use shift lock as much as possible. I know this might be difficult for mobile players, but if you're on a laptop, computer, try to use shift lock. You just are able to move around so much easier. You don't have to sit here and just turn your camera and move at the same time. Shift lock lets you move extremely easy and lets you like fit in small spaces like this. You can just move pretty easily and hug corners a lot better when you're using shift lock. Another tip that some people might know is that you can flick up ladders. So let me go down here. There's a ladder right here. I could just flick up here by jumping. Okay, that was like that. You can alrighty. Oh, girl, are you okay? My tips for survivors now is, first of all, most people think your main goal as a survivor is to collect coins, and this is pretty common to believe, but actually, arguably, the most important job for you guys is to collect information. So to do this, you just have to watch people, like watch who's following people. Is someone acting really suspicious? Who had the knife in the last round? I know that that person can't be a murderer again because they were just murderer last round, or like they have a 3% chance. So it's likely they're not murderer again. My second tip is don't hang around other people at the start of the match. You never know who the murderer is. Oh, there's a hacker, guys. Okay, report find chicken one, y'all. Bro. My next tip is to always have an exit plan when you guys enter a room, so you know where to go if you're about to be killed. It's better to have a room with at least 2 exit points. If there's only one exit, the murderer could camp the exit and make it really difficult to escape. So overall, I would just avoid any dead zones or any like tight rooms It just makes it pretty hard to get out, and the murderer could just throw the knife and it has a good chance of hitting you. If you see an effect on a body and someone with the same effect has that on their knife, like I have the radioactive effect, I know if someone sees the dead body with the radioactive effect, they probably know it's me. Don't run in the same pattern every time. Unpredictable movements helps you escape any thrown knives, so don't just like jump up and down like this. I would do strafing patterns, and by strafing I mean like this, like kind of just like jump in different directions, go into different rooms. Just try to do weird camera movements. Another tip is to hug the wall as much as possible. This just helps you move faster. Like instead of me looping around this wall like this where I'm not hugging anything, if I hug this wall, I can just move around really quickly. My final tip for survivors is if you haven't heard the gun shoot in a while, then you can probably assume that the sheriff has died. If you're hearing a lot of murders but no gunshots, likely the sheriff has died, so you guys should try to look for it, see if you can find it. And this is a little bit of a hot take, but don't try to hide the entire game. It's not only boring for yourself, but it's also boring for everyone else. Do you ever spectate someone and they're just hiding? Like, I wonder if I could spectate anyone right now. See, like, this girl's just hiding. Like, if she's the last survivor left, like, I don't want to just sit here and watch her. Here, it looks like this girl's a murderer, and this girl's just hiding. So it's pretty annoying to just having to wait, and like, this doesn't help anyone. How can you expect to get better at the game if you don't improve by trying to grab the gun and shoot the murderer? Obviously, when I say this, I don't mean just stand in the open. Like, it's okay to hide every now and then when you're trying to run away from the murderer. Alrighty, moving on to sheriffs. My first tip for sheriffs is don't take out the gun until you know who the murderer is and where they are, because otherwise the murderer will target you. Don't just randomly shoot the gun either. The murderer will know who and where you are. Moving on, most sheriff deaths come from panic shots. Missing one shot doesn't mean spam, guys. You're more likely to miss the shot if you're in a hurry, so try to reset mentally before you're re-engaging, and just be patient, or click or tap when you're ready to shoot the gun. If it helps, you can very briefly stand still so you can shoot better. It's easier to aim this way. Your cursor moves. See how like my cursor's not always on the tree? I'd have to like hold my mouse still. It's really hard to do that. So you're not really gaining anything by just doing this, you know? So at least stand still so you can aim better. And my next tip is that it's not that smart to chase the murderer. Instead, you should be holding choke points and let the murderer push you. So like right here is something that I would deem like a choke point. Oh my gosh! I'm a skinny legend. Where's my waist at? This is like another choke point. Like I can see kind of two directions here. Like there's murder, so I know to run. And I'm hugging the wall also. And I'm holding here, so like if I had the gun, I could see which direction he's coming from. If he's gonna come from this direction, or is he gonna come from this direction? The only good thing about small rooms is when you're sheriff, and maybe it helps you aim a little easier. When you're survivor, it's not really ideal, but when you're sheriff, the murderer just doesn't have a lot of room to run around or jump at all. Their head just kind of hits the ceiling. It's a lot easier to shoot them this way. And you could also, if you're sheriff, force the murderer into a doorway. It's really easy to hit a shot in this small little doorway if you force the murderer to somehow go in here. But if he does get in there and if you don't miss a shot, you're kind of cooked. So use that wisely. Also good to have a height advantage on the killer. So like if I went up here, up this ladder, and the murderer was down here, I would just want to shoot them because like they have to climb the ladder. I could just shoot them so easily. They have to go like that to get up here. Or if you're smart and you learn how to do the flicks, the ladder flicks, then it helps you a little easier. But it's just so easy for me to hit my shot because I can just look down at the killer. They can't do anything to get me. They can't really throw their knife up here. I could just get an easy shot. See, like I could just kill that girl so easily. Another tip is to try to aim for the murderer's torso. There's just unfortunately no benefit to getting headshots in this game. It doesn't matter. One shot, one bullet kills somebody if it hits them. So I would just aim for someone's torso. Like here, I would aim for this guy's torso. His head is smaller. Just aim for the center of someone's body and you'll be able to hit a shot. My final tip for the sheriff is if you're going against a spam jumper, just try to lure them in a door frame. I already mentioned this, but it just makes the jump shorter. So it's easier to shoot them. Like I can barely jump off this doorway. Like I get stuck. So just lure them into a doorway if you can. I do have another hot take for you guys. Why do we call murder spam jumper so often? There's literally no rules to say you can't spam jump. Like, how else are you supposed to avoid the sheriff? Do you just run in a straight line and expect not to get shot? Calling someone a jump spammer is kind of just your excuse that you can't aim, to be honest. Like, you could just lure them into a doorway. You know, it takes practice. Calling someone a spam jumper is literally just you saying you can't aim. Alrighty, moving on to murderers. Try to predict where people are going. So you can throw the knife in their location. The knife is slower than the gunshot. The gunshot is pretty instant, but when you're throwing the knife, it takes a while to travel. So like this girl's walking here, I would throw my knife right here in this direction because I can predict where she's going. My next tip for murder is just to rush. Like, you only have 3 minutes on the timer, so just kill everyone ASAP. Like, I see these people, boom, 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 I would kill them. And once you pull your knife out, it's kind of up to you guys if you want to put your knife away again. It doesn't really matter if you leave your knife out because likely everyone already knows you're the murderer, and players often use voice chat or they play with their friends and tell their friends who the murderer is. So being sneaky in this game is just not really possible. So just kind of wipe the lobby as fast as you can, and this also helps you when there's people hiding. If there's people hiding, then you're already spending like at least like a minute trying to find someone. So you really only have a couple minutes to like kill the lobby, and then you gotta go a minute and find the people that are hiding, you know? So I would just rush ASAP, don't be sneaky, just go for it. Another tip is when you're a murderer and there's a sheriff, when the sheriff's reloading, you know that they can't shoot again for like about another second, so you just have a second to relax. You know you can approach them. My next tip is that you can bait shots by shoulder peeking a sheriff. So what do I mean by that? So I'm the murderer, so yeah, let's go. So if I went like this and the sheriff shot right there, I can bait the shot. But you guys don't want to do it again because they predict that you're going to do that again. So I would go around this doorway and then come back around. Alright, let's see if I can wipe this lobby. See, I'm rushing right away. I only waited like 5 seconds to pull out my knife. Oh, this girl's stuck on the person. She wasn't looking in front of her, so her camera was probably right behind her. Wasn't really looking. So this map, I want to hug the walls. You just move around a lot faster. And I'm also using haste on this map because it's so small. I don't really need x-ray. There's just not a lot of hiding spots on this map. See, now I can't find everyone. So now I gotta spend the next 2 minutes trying to find people. So that's why you want to rush the game, just so you have time to look for people. I hear audio cues in this direction, so I'm gonna head over here. Oh, yep, this girl has the gun now. I have a minute to relax, or a second to relax, another second to relax, and oh, she's got me on a doorway. Second to relax. Don't do that, guys. And if you're a murderer, don't just camp the gun. You're wasting precious time that you should be spent killing people. And if you just camp the gun, the survivors are going to win because all the time is going to run out. It is best to be aware of the gun's location, so coming back to the drop gun every now and then to see if it's still there is still helpful. My next tip is to use x-ray for the bigger maps and then haste for the smaller maps. But ultimately, just kind of use the perk that you believe would help you guys the most. Everyone has different strengths, so just choose the perk that would be best for you. But ultimately, guys, don't be discouraged if you die a lot if it's your first time playing or one of your first times playing. It just takes a lot of practice. I've been on this game for literal years and I'm still not perfect, as you could just see. It takes time. You guys got this. But thank you guys so much for tuning into my video. If you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe.